珍しく。 Good evening, everyone. We will now begin the evening service of the Miroku Association headquarters, expressing our gratitude to God and Meishu-sama for blessings and protection received while participating in the construction of paradise on earth. Amatsu-Norito and Miroku Prayer, please stand. Takahara ni kamsumarimasu. Kamurogi kamuroni no mikoto mochite. Sumemi oya kamuizanagi no mikoto. Tsukushi no imuka no tachi hana mo. Odo no ahagi harani. Misogi harai tamo utoki ni narimaseru. Harai dono o kami tachi moro moro no magagoto tsumi kegare o. Arai tamae kiyome tamae tomao sukoto no yoshi o. Amatsu kami kunitsu kami yao yorozu no kami tachi tomo ni. Ame no fuji koma no mimi furitate kiko shimese to kashikomi mo maosu. Miroku o mikami mamori tamae saki ae tamae. Miroku o mikami mamori tamae saki ae tamae. Oshie miyoya nushi no kami mamori tamae saki ae tamae. Oshie miyoya nushi no kami mamori tamae saki ae tamae. Kannagara tamachi haemasu. Kannagara tamachi haemasu. Great God of light, creator and giver of all life, in accordance with your divine will, the long age of night draws to an end. Your radiant divine light, shining ever more brilliantly, awakens the dawn of the glorious age of light, a time long awaited by all humanity. We thank you for guiding us to your divine plan, and for the privilege of channeling and receiving Johrei. May our spirits and bodies be illuminated and purified, as we live your truth given to us by Meishu-sama. Make us pure and effective instruments of your divine light, so that we may serve you and all those with whom we come in contact. May paradise on earth be realized, with health, peace, and prosperity, a reality in our lives. Great God of light, bless and protect us. Radiate our souls with your divine light, so that we may truly become instruments of your great plan. Please be seated. We will now receive Group Johrei.
May God and Meishu-sama bless you.
Johrei is now concluded. We will now listen to a reading from Meishu-sama's teachings. Gratitude. Humble as it is, my little home has changed to a happy paradise due to God's grace. How grateful I am. My home has become a little paradise in this world since we were blessed with God's divine light. My past, easily likened to a life in hell, has faded like a bad dream. I am now walking on heaven's path. Each thought and deed creates a radiation that is either positive or negative. So, The width and brilliance of the aura is proportionate to the amount of positive or negative traits in the individual. When a person's thoughts and deeds are constructive, the inner being is at peace, and in this happy state emanates a greater light. When someone does something to help another, that person's gratitude forms light, which is transmitted to the helpful one through the spiritual cord. This increases both the width and the intensity of the letter's aura. I wish to remind those who are giving Johrei that the wider their auras are, the better the results will be, because the divine light then flows more freely. Also, since this is a two-way principle, the more people they help through Johrei, the wider and more radiant their auras become. This is due to partly to giving this service and partly to the gratitude received from those who have benefited through it.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining the Miroku Association headquarters evening service. This evening, I want to share with you the faith experience of Susana Manuela Pereira Teixeira Fernandes. She's from the Oporto Johrei Center, Portugal. At a monthly meeting of missionaries, among other things, the importance of working the home garden with other people was discussed, especially with those persons the missionaries are assisting. On this occasion, Susanna said that she had a lot of difficulties in attracting people to join her, and that despite practicing home gardening, she had never had any positive results in this dedication. Therefore, she was feeling like attracting others was something difficult. At the meeting, one of the missionaries asked Susanna how she was doing at home. She replied that at that moment her garden wasn't producing because everything was dry and still. Then he asked her with what feelings she had done her garden. She talked about it and came to the conclusion that she had not done it with the right feeling. She was practicing home gardening for solving a personal problem, making her feel sad and lacking motivation. With that state of mind, she realized she didn't make the garden with a feeling of love and gratitude, and much less with the objective of expanding the work of God and Meishu-sama to her neighborhood. On that same day, the missionary offered to go to her house and work in the garden with her. Back at her home, she was guided to do the practice of sowing while she was plowing the soil. That is, with the feeling of gratitude and forgiveness to the spirit of the land, together with her ancestors, for having polluted and used the soil without respect and without gratitude. After this practice, she felt relief in her heart. She could perceive an opening in her feeling, in her way of thinking. Before, she was too close minded, as she was very attached to her personal problems. With this change in her sowing, results didn't take long to appear. After a few days, a couple of members who were inactive, who did not even know Susanna personally, started to visit her home, and today they have returned to do the basic practices of our faith. She started to channel Johrei to three more people, something that didn't happen previously, because she would have excuses for not channeling Johrei more intensively. Her garden had its appearance completely changed a few weeks later, from a dry and still to a renewed and always growing vegetable garden. For Susanna, the result of her inner change was a great learning experience. She was able to confirm that only through gratitude it is possible for us to gain permission to hand over our problems into the hands of God and Meishu-sama. and without realizing it, positive things happen naturally. With this renewed feeling, she expressed her gratitude for this wonderful experience through a special donation. Thereafter, she worked in her home garden with the new people who came to her home, joining Susanna in that dedication. From now on, her desire is to continue this practice with those Meishu-sama will send into her life, as she now has more confidence in this nature farming, home gardening column of salvation. Susanna is deeply grateful to God and Meishu-sama for this opportunity to deepen her faith and for understanding the guidance about the importance of home gardening. And I want to share another faith experience. This one is from Luisa de Almeida Zerbini. She's from the Vila Mariana, São Paulo, Brazil. Luisa is married and has 2 children. Everyone at her home is a Johrei member. On June 2020, her 9-year-old son began a purification process. He had a high fever and complained of headache, sore throat, and stomachache. She handed the purification over to God and reported to her minister. Luisa and her husband channeled Johrei to their son through the night. The next day, she continued channeling Johrei practically uninterrupted. At the end of the day, she was exhausted and ended up falling asleep for a few minutes beside her son. When she woke up, she was surprised because her son was giving her Johrei. He said that she must be really tired and that it was his retribution for her spending the night with him. She thought that this expression of gratitude from her son was very significant. A week before, he had participated in an online children's meeting of the Johrei Center, in which the topic discussed was gratitude. Luisa continued to give him Johrei until nightfall, and his fever was still high. She remembered that on that week, she had studied the teaching about spiritual cords. She expressed gratitude for her son's life and prayed that all people and ancestors connected to him by spiritual cords could receive the light of Johrei. In the morning, his fever began to subside, and the other symptoms disappeared. This experience strengthened their faith and gratitude even more. At this time when humanity is going through so many uncertainties and concerns, Johrei and our other practices of faith bring us the necessary security to overcome the purifications with serenity. This year, they were blessed to have the dedication of their home altar, and they are increasingly committed to serving the work of realizing paradise on earth. Thank you very much for listening to these wonderful faith experiences. I wish you a wonderful evening. Thank you very much.
This brings to a conclusion our evening service. Thank you everyone for joining us and have a blessed evening.